amphibious bulk liquid transfer system, or ABLTS, supplies fuel or water to ground forces until the offshore petroleum discharge system can be installed. ABLTS provides the initial liquid products ashore from maritime prepositioned ships to a beach interface unit. ABLTS is installed from the beach out to a designated fuel ship using an INLS power module and an intermediate module as the deployment craft. ABLTS operations consists of first outfitting the deployment craft and then transiting to the beach. There, a beach interface unit is installed. The hose is then attached to the BIU and then deployed back to the ship. ABLTS is a self-contained system capable of deploying 10,000 feet of 6-inch fuel or 10,000 feet of 4-inch water hose lines from a designated ship to the beach interface unit for up to 30 days. The system can be offloaded, assembled, deployed, and operational within 8 to 10 hours after the MPF ship anchors. The ABLTS crew consists of 15 Navy personnel. Once installed, forces ashore will interface shoreward from the beach interface unit to their bulk fuel system. ABLTS contains two separate subsystems, a fuel subsystem and a potable water subsystem. The fuel subsystem consists of two hose reels, each containing 5,000 feet of red 6-inch hose, and one 20-foot ISO container with the tools, anchors, equipment, and material necessary to install the system. The system is designed to deliver 600 gallons per minute and 720,000 gallons per 20-hour day. The water subsystem consists of one hose reel containing 10,000 feet of blue 4-inch water hose and one 20-foot ISO container with the tools, anchors, equipment, and material necessary to install the system. The system is designed to deliver 300 gallons per minute and 320,000 gallons per 20-hour day. Two ABLTS are provided in each of the two maritime pre-positioning ship squadrons, and one ABLTS is provided to each of the two amphibious construction battalions to support home port training and assault follow-on echelon operations. The ABLTS hose reels and containers must be offloaded from the MPF ship onto lighterage by the ship's cranes. The ABLTS is also capable of being shipped via air transport. A crew of 15 personnel is required to install and retrieve the system. Once the system is installed, a crew of 10 personnel is required for operation and maintenance during each 12-hour shift. The ABLTS requires the support of a deployment craft during installation and retrieval. The primary deployment craft is the INLS Causeway Ferry Power Module, CFPM, plus one INLS Intermediate Module, IM, using the INLS ABLTS interface system. The interface system allows the ABLTS to be securely mounted to the deck of the intermediate module. The system can also be installed on an LCU 1600. A warping tug, WT, tender craft is also required as a support and salvage craft. In addition to the deployment craft and crew, a beach master unit beach party team and salvage safety craft with crew are required for installation, operation, and retrieval of ABLTS. In selecting a site for the ABLTS, planners must have an understanding of how the weather and sea play a major role. Because the hose floats, ABLTS needs to be installed in an area that will not foul the waterway or beach. Weather and surf conditions must constantly be monitored during operations. ABLTS environmental limitations for installation and retrieval are a significant wave height of 3 feet, a maximum wind of 13 knots, maximum surf of 4 feet, and a maximum current of 1.5 knots. The ABLTS consists of several major components. The hose reel assembly is a self-contained, hydraulically driven diesel engine-powered unit capable of storing, deploying, and retrieving the ABLTS hose. It consists of an enclosed engine compartment to protect the hose reel prime mover and all ancillary equipment. An operator control station is built into the hose reel frame above the engine compartment to provide the operator with a full view of the operations. The bow chute assembly is used to guide and control the hose line during deployment and retrieval operations. The bow chute prevents the hose line from sweeping the deck of the deployment retrieval craft to prevent injury to personnel. The 20-foot ISO containers are custom designed to store and transport the ancillary equipment. The containers are equipped with 2 access doors on each end and a single access door on the starboard side. The pig launcher is a ball valve manifold to allow foam pigs to be inserted into the hose line. Pigs are used to purge the hose line flow path for hose retrieval or to switch between different petroleum products. The Beach Interface Unit, BIU, is a 6-inch fuel and a 4-inch water ball valve manifold positioned 250 feet above the high water mark to distribute the flow of fuel or water from the delivery ship to the Marine Corps Amphibious Assault Fuel System, AAFS, or Army Inland Petroleum Distribution System. The 20-foot ISO container is installed just aft of the hose reel, either on the intermediate module or the Causeway Ferry power module. A warping tug or ship's crane positions the shear connector cover onto the intermediate module's shear connectors and into the flexor housing at the bow of the intermediate module. It is locked into place using the INLS flexor guillotine. The hose reels are mounted on adapter frames that are secured to the deck of the intermediate module with turnbuckles. The hose reels are lifted by crane and placed on the ISO fast mount plates. The bow chute is lifted by crane and placed on the ISO fast mount plates bolted to the adapter frame. This bow chute assembly is mounted centerline at the forward end of the intermediate module on an adapter frame secured to the deck of the intermediate module. After the hose reel installation is completed, the next step is to rig the buoys and anchors for hose deployment. The 120-pound Navmor anchors that will be used to deploy the hose line are removed from the ISO container and arranged on plywood decking. The ABLTS crew must determine how many buoys are needed and the mooring chain length needed for deploying the ABLTS hose. The crew will then measure, cut, and stage the chain onto the intermediate module. When inflated, the buoys are stored on the deck or alongside the deployment craft in preparation for deployment. Normally, 34 anchors are sufficient to deploy 5,000 feet of hose line. If more than 5,000 feet of hose line are used, the remaining anchors will be staged during the deployment phase after all anchors on one side of the intermediate module are deployed. The ABLTS is equipped with an inflatable boat to support operations and maintenance. To assist in deploying the inflatable boat, the ABLTS crew must first install a jib boom. The jib boom connects to the ISO connecting socket on the outboard corner of the 20-foot container. Installation of the Beach Interface Unit, or BIU, takes place just before the hose line is deployed. The BIU is offloaded and transported via support craft directly to the designated beach site, along with the BIU personnel and support equipment. The BIU is designed with 3 ball valves. The Bravo 4 B4 valve is designated as the inlet valve which the ship-to-shore hose line is connected. The Bravo 5 B5 and Bravo 6 B6 valves are designated as the discharge valves. The designated beach area for installing the BIU must be prepared in advance of the BIU being delivered to the beach. The beach site must be inspected in a prime location 250 feet above the high water mark selected. The BIU is positioned with the inlet end, socket end, seaward. BIU personnel lay out 2 90-foot lengths of mooring chain at a 30-degree angle from the flow-through saddle position. A 120-pound Navmor anchor is then attached to each mooring chain with flukes facing seaward. Personnel then attach a 1/4-inch by 10-foot pendant with an inflatable yellow buoy to the crown of each anchor and bury the anchors approximately 3 feet to 5 feet deep. After the BIU is installed on the beach and permission to beach the deployment craft is obtained from the beach party team, installation of the hose line begins. All personnel must remember that deployment of the hose line, anchors, and buoys is a hazardous operation. Safety is paramount, and all personnel must be observant of their surroundings. The hose line is delivered ashore by passing a messenger line to the beach party team, who then tows the hose line ashore, normally by Lark, to the designated BIU site, where the BIU team removes the messenger and connects the hose line to the beach interface unit. As the craft retracts from the beach, the ABLTS crew ensures the hose line is deployed perpendicular to the beach. The ABLTS deployment craft continues backing out through the surf zone while simultaneously playing out the hose line. At the first coupling, located 200 feet from the flow-through saddle on the beach, one orange anchor buoy is attached to the mooring column. At the second coupling, 400 feet from the flow-through saddle, two orange anchor buoys and two 120-pound Navmore anchors are attached to the mooring column. At the third and remaining couplings, every 150 feet, one orange anchor buoy and one 120-pound Navmore anchor is attached to the mooring column. The ABLTS crew continues paying out the hose line, attaching anchors and orange anchor buoys to the mooring collars every 150 feet until the designated hose line length is reached. Once the hose line has been deployed from the beach, it is now ready to be connected to the fuel delivery ship. The ship's crew will hoist the pigtail hose onto the deck of the ship and attach the female rob coupling to the male rob coupling attached to the flange outlet of the ship's riser. The last 150 feet of pigtail hose is more robust and will resist chafing on the knife edges of the delivery ship. The length and configuration of the pigtail must be determined prior to deployment, as each type of delivery ship is different. A curved flow-through saddle in the pigtail is placed over the ship's rail to allow for smooth flow of product over the rail without kinks or damage to the hose. Two emergency shutdown clamps are placed on the deck in the vicinity of the ship's riser and are used to compress the hose when product pumping operations are completed and the hose is passed back down to the tending craft. These clamps are used in addition to capping the end of the hose to prevent any fuel spills. The ABLTS will normally be deployed from a Bobo-class MPF ship moored to a single point. During pumping operations, you will need to secure pumping and disconnect the pigtail hose from the ship's riser whenever the ship swings during a tide shift. Because of this, a quick connect, disconnect rob coupling must be attached to the fuel outlet on the ship's riser. A rob coupling is a quick trip device used for releasing the product hose line from the delivery ship. The coupling automatically seals when disconnected to prevent spills or contamination of product when the hose line is released from the ship. Once disconnected, the female end of the rob coupling and the pigtail hose are passed back down to the tending craft. Once the delivery ship completes its tide swing, the tending craft will pass the pigtail hose back to the delivery ship. Due to the amount of unanchored pigtail hose required to deploy the single point moor, strict attention to the hose line must be observed at all times to prevent the hose line from becoming fouled with the delivery ship. A tending craft is required throughout a single point moor operation. The tending craft is normally an INLS warping tug or a power module, and the crew must be fully trained and on station 24 hours a day. During pumping operations, the pig launcher may be either positioned on board the delivery ship or on a warping tug or power module. The preferred method would be to position the pig launcher on the warping tug or power module rather than move it back and forth from the two ships' risers every time the tide shifts. The BIU and pig launcher are inspected, then the hose is pressurized with air, while the inflatable boat inspects all hose line connections for leaks, as evidenced by air bubbles. One of the most critical tasks during pumping operations is ensuring communications between the delivery ship, ABLTS crew, and the receiving command are maintained at all times. A communications plan is developed to cover manning and radio operations. If communications are lost with the beach for over 1 minute, the delivery ship will stop pumping. The ship's master, along with the Naval Support Element and the LOTS or JLOTS commander, are jointly responsible for ensuring pumping operations are safe and environmentally sound. The command receiving the fuel or water controls the pump flow rates and pressures via radio communications to the delivery ship. When the fuel or water transfer is complete and the ABLTS is ready to be retrieved, the remaining product must be removed from the flow path. Before the hose line is disconnected, the flow path is cleaned and purged of product using lightweight foam pigs. Purging the hose line with pigs displaces the product and wipes the walls of the hose nearly dry. After purging the flow path, ABLTS retrieval begins with retrieving the hose line, anchors, and buoys by sections. The first hose to be retrieved is the pigtail hose from the delivery ship. Each section retrieved requires disconnecting the buoys and using the auxiliary winches to recover the anchors. Prior to retrieving the BIU connections must be flushed and end caps attached. BIU personnel then clean and fold the berm and place all equipment on the transport craft to be delivered back to the ABLTS platform. Now that the ABLTS retrieval is complete, it's time for the crew to de-outfit the platform and prepare all of the equipment for backloading and storage in the ISO containers. De-outfitting the platform includes removing the hose reel assembly, bow chute, shear connector cover, adapter plates, and ISO container. The ABLTS is now ready for another operation. Deploying the amphibious bulk liquid transfer system requires a significant amount of planning and coordination, as well as the ability of all participating services to work together as a well-functioning team. The object of ABLTS is to supply fuel or water to ground forces until the offshore petroleum discharge system can be installed. Fuel and water are vital to the success of any military operation, and ABLTS is the Navy and Marine Corps' initial source of these critical liquid products.